You're doing relationships in a way that almost guarantees you feel invisible, and you probably don't even see it happening. You give attention fast. You reply right away. You clear your schedule. You make her a priority before you've even checked if she deserves that kind of access to you. And then you sit there confused when she slowly pulls away, treats you like an option, or walks out without looking back. You think the problem is that you're not enough. Not tall enough, not rich enough, not bad boy enough. The real problem is simpler. You don't act like your time, energy, and commitment are valuable. You treat them like they're free, so she does too. That has to change. Because right now, you've been taught to focus on how to impress women, how to get their attention, how to keep them from leaving. Nobody taught you how to set standards. Nobody taught you how to make her earn access to you. Nobody taught you how to stay calm, grounded, and in control when your emotions start pulling you all over the place. That's what we're fixing here. First, let's get clear on this. If you feel like you're always the one giving more in relationships, that's not bad luck. That's a pattern. You always show up first, care more, text more, and adjust your life more. You apologize when you didn't even do anything wrong. You chase when she pulls back. You stay when she stops trying. You're not being romantic. You're being easy. And in dating, what's easy rarely gets respect. This is where stoicism matters. Not as some old philosophy you pretend to know about, but as a way of living that stops you from getting dragged around by every emotion, every reaction, every mood swing, and every test. Stoicism is simple. You focus on what you can control. Your reactions, your standards, your choices. You stop trying to control what you never could. Her emotions, her decisions, her past, her attention. Most problems you face with women come from mixing those two up. Think about how you act when something goes wrong in a relationship. She gets distant. She replies slower. She seems annoyed. She brings up something from months ago and turns it into an argument. What do you usually do? You panic inside. You over-explain. You send long texts. You try to fix her mood. You try to prove that you're a good guy. And every time you do that, you put yourself below her. A stoic man doesn't do that. He doesn't ignore problems, but he doesn't beg for peace either. He listens, stays calm, and decides what he wants to do based on his values, not based on fear of losing her. That's what makes him feel steady around women, instead of anxious. Women respect that. They might not say it, but they feel it. In almost every relationship, there are moments where she pushes a little just to see where the line is. She might raise her voice, test your patience, pull away, act cold, or bring up something in a sharp way. She's not always doing this consciously, but it happens. If you fold in those moments, you train her to see you as weak. Not because you're a bad person, but because you show that you can't handle pressure without falling apart. If every small problem turns you into an emotional mess, she won't trust you in big problems either. Stoicism is not about pretending you don't feel anything. It's about not letting your feelings control you. You can be hurt and still stay respectful. You can be annoyed and still talk calmly. You can feel fear of losing her and still hold your boundary. That's where respect comes from. Now let's talk about overcommitment, because this is one of the biggest traps for men. Most guys commit way too fast. A girl gives them some attention, and within days they're treating her like a long-term partner. They start doing favors, driving her around, buying things, rearranging work, hobbies, and friends for her. They show loyalty she hasn't earned yet. They think that effort will make her stay. In reality, it often pushes her away. Here's why. When you give maximum effort to someone who's giving minimum effort, they don't feel grateful. They feel powerful. They feel like the prize, and they start acting like it. If she hasn't done anything to earn your commitment, then from her side, what you give her feels default, not special. She didn't climb to the top of your priority list. You placed her there for free. Relationships work best when both people invest. You show effort. She shows effort. You adjust. She adjusts. When one person is doing 80% and the other is doing 20%, attraction doesn't grow. It slowly dies. Overcommitment also makes you stop being the guy she was attracted to at the start. At the beginning, maybe you had your own schedule, your own goals, your own life. As soon as she enters the picture, you start dropping the gym, skipping your work, canceling on friends, and sitting on your phone waiting for her messages. You become available all the time, and you stop being interesting. You might think you're showing how serious you are. She sees a man who has nothing else going on, a man who will lose himself just to keep her happy. That doesn't feel romantic. It feels heavy. Stoicism fixes that by reminding you your life comes first. Not in a selfish way, but in a realistic way. You can't show up as a strong partner if you've abandoned your own goals, your own happiness, and your own standards. If she wants more of your time, that's fine, but it has to fit into a life that already has structure. You don't throw away your routine every time she calls. You invite her into a life that already has direction. Now, here's one of the most important ideas. Effort creates value. People value what they had to work for. You know this already. When you work hard for a grade, a job, a skill, or your body, you feel proud of it. You protect it. You don't want to lose it. Relationships work the same way. Women understand this. That's why many are selective about who they give their time and intimacy to. They often make men show consistency, effort, and interest before they fully open up. They know that when a man invests, he tends to value her more, but you probably don't do the same in return. You treat your attention, loyalty, and emotional energy like they're unlimited. You give them out fast, with no standards. You don't check if she's kind, supportive, consistent, or respectful before you start giving her your best. Then you're shocked when she doesn't appreciate it. If you make commitment cheap, don't be surprised when people treat it like it's cheap. If you want women to value you, you have to create a situation where their effort matters. That means you don't commit fully just because she's pretty and gives you some attention. You watch how she acts over time. Does she keep her word? Does she make time for you or only see you when it's convenient? Does she listen when you talk or only talk about herself? Does she show care when you're tired, busy, or stressed? Does she protect your name when you're not around or let others disrespect you? If the answer to most of these is no, then why are you giving her the same level of commitment you'd give a woman who does all of that? Effort is not just about money or gifts. It's about emotional investment, consistency, and respect. When both of you are putting in effort, you both value the relationship more. Now let's flip one of the biggest lies you've been told, that you're supposed to chase. You've seen this idea everywhere. The man chases. The woman is distant. He wins her over by trying again and again until she finally gives him a chance. It looks nice in movies. In real life, it makes you act beneath yourself. Because if you're chasing, what is she doing? In most cases, she's doing less than you, or nothing at all. She replies when she feels like it. She keeps things vague. She enjoys the attention and the feeling of being wanted. While you keep investing more and more, you're not building a relationship. You're trying to convince someone to see your value. A healthy connection doesn't need that. When someone is genuinely interested, they meet you in the middle. They reply. They suggest plans sometimes. They show curiosity about you. You don't have to drag them into your life. You need to stop chasing and start selecting. Instead of spending your days trying to impress one specific person who barely gives you anything back, put your energy into yourself, build your body, improve your skills, strengthen your finances, build a better social life, fill your days with things that matter. When your life is full, you stop acting desperate. You don't send 5 messages in a row because someone hasn't replied. You don't cancel your entire day because she suddenly wants to see you. You're no longer trying to be chosen. You are the choice. And something changes when you reach that point. People feel that you're not begging for attention. They feel that you're good either way. That's attractive. This isn't about pretending not to care. It's about actually building a life where one person's reaction doesn't control your mood for the entire day. Now we need to talk about emotional discipline, because this is where a lot of men lose respect fast. Emotions are real. You will feel jealousy, anger, hurt, fear, and confusion. Stoicism doesn't tell you to ignore them. It tells you to slow down and respond with intention. Many men do the exact opposite. They react instantly. She takes a bit longer to reply, and they start accusing her. She goes out with friends, and they blow up her phone. She raises her voice, and they yell back. She threatens to leave, and they beg and promise anything. These reactions don't make her feel safe. They make her feel like you're unstable. Emotional discipline starts with one simple habit. Pause. Don't send the angry paragraph. Don't call 10 times. Don't rush into fixing it. Take a breath. Step away for a few minutes. Then ask yourself what response actually matches the kind of man you want to be. Sometimes that response is a calm conversation. Sometimes it's giving space. Sometimes it's deciding this isn't a person you want in your life. But it should never be pure impulse. Women notice how you act under stress. If you can stay calm when you're upset, that builds respect. It shows you're in control of yourself, and that's a sign of strength. Rejection is another place where emotional discipline shows. You will face rejection. Messages ignored. Dates canceled. Feelings not returned. It happens to every man, no matter how confident or attractive. What separates strong men from weak ones is how they handle it. A lot of men take rejection as proof that something is wrong with them. They start thinking they're not good enough, that no woman will ever want them, that they have no chance. That mindset makes them cling harder to the next girl who shows them even a little attention, which leads right back into overcommitting. A stoic man looks at rejection differently. One woman's choice does not define his value. It just means she's not a match. Maybe she's not ready. Maybe she wants someone different. Maybe her life is in chaos. Maybe she just doesn't feel it. That's allowed. Your job is not to win everyone over. Your job is to become a strong, grounded man and connect with the few women who actually fit your life and values. When you accept rejection calmly, you stop trying to convince people. You stop begging for second chances. You stop sending emotional texts to change their mind. You keep your dignity and move forward. That attitude is not cold. It's healthy. Now let's look at reciprocity, because this is one of the clearest signs of whether a relationship is worth your time. Ask yourself honestly, in your last few situations, who gave more, you or her? Be real with yourself. Who planned more? Who adapted their schedule more? Who stressed more about the future of the relationship? Who chased? Who forgave more? Who compromised more? If the answer is always you, you're not in balanced relationships. You're in arrangements where you supply most of the effort and hope she eventually matches it. That rarely happens. Reciprocity means both people are showing effort, not in the exact same way, but to a similar level. Maybe you pay for most dates, and she makes sure to bring you food sometimes, or does something thoughtful for you. Maybe you drive to see her more often, and she always sets aside time to really be present with you. Maybe you give emotional support, and she does the same when you need it. You should feel like you're both investing, not keeping score, but also not carrying all the weight. If you notice that she never initiates, never reaches out first, never checks in on you, never shows appreciation, that's a sign. If she expects you to show up for her, but disappears when you need something, that's a sign. A man with self-respect doesn't stay in that. He doesn't scream, make threats, or insult her. He just adjusts his effort. If she gives little, he gives little. If she keeps giving nothing, he walks away. Not as punishment, but as a simple decision. This is not the standard he lives by. Now, all of this becomes much easier when you build a life that you're proud of. If your days are empty, if you're bored all the time, if your only source of excitement is texting or seeing a girl, then of course you'll get clingy. Of course you'll obsess over every reply. Of course you'll overinvest. You have nothing else going on. So you need to fix that first. Start with your body. Train. Eat better. Sleep enough. You don't have to be perfect. Just get stronger and healthier. When you respect your body, you naturally start respecting yourself more in relationships too. Then look at your work or studies. Are you actually trying to build something, or are you just drifting? Set some goals. Learn skills. Try to improve a little each week. Progress gives you confidence, and confidence reduces neediness. Next, your hobbies. Find things you genuinely enjoy. They don't have to be impressive. Just real interests that add something to your life. It could be sports, music, coding, design, hiking, whatever. The point is to have a life that doesn't collapse if a girl stops talking to you. Your social circle matters as well. If you only have people around you who complain, waste time, and avoid growth, it drags you down. Try to spend more time with people who push you forward. Men who are disciplined, focused, and honest with you. They will not let you act like a doormat in relationships for long. When your life is set up like this, you naturally stop chasing women. You don't have time to sit around begging for replies because you have things to do. You don't tolerate disrespect because you actually like your life, and you're not afraid to lose someone who doesn't treat you right. Now let's talk about something most men never practice. Not every woman you feel chemistry with is meant to stay in your life. Some are there to show you what you don't want. Some are there to teach you about your own weak points. Some are just not a fit long term, even if the attraction is strong. The problem is, men often treat every connection like it must be saved. Even when it's clearly not working, they hold on. They ignore red flags. They hope time will fix everything. They wait for her to magically change. You need a filtering mindset instead. When you meet someone, your goal is not, how do I keep her? Your goal is she a good fit for the life I'm building? You pay attention to patterns. Does she respect your time? Is she honest? Does she speak badly about everyone around her? Does she constantly bring drama? Is she kind to people who can't to give her anything? If the answers don't look good, you don't argue, you don't try to fix her, you don't break yourself to make it work. You let it go and move forward. Catch and release is not about being heartless. It's about knowing that staying with the wrong person costs you more than being alone does. Time, energy, emotional stability, focus. All of that gets drained when you cling to someone who doesn't align with your values. Set a rough time frame in your mind. After a few months of dating, you should have a pretty clear sense of who she is when she's comfortable. If by then you're seeing constant disrespect, constant flackiness, constant arguing, it's not just a phase. It's who she is with you. You can still be grateful for the good moments and walk away. Both are possible. Finally, let's come back to what all of this is building toward. A partnership of equals. You're not trying to control a woman. You're not trying to be above her. You're not trying to be below her. You're trying to build something where both of you respect each other and pull in the same direction. That kind of relationship won't happen if you show up with no standards and no self-control. It also won't happen if you're cold, closed off, and unwilling to give anything. It happens when you're grounded, clear on what you want, and willing to walk away from anything that doesn't match it. In a balanced relationship, both of you protect the connection. She cares about your stress, not just hers.
She respects your time and energy. She doesn't rely on you for everything, and you don't rely on her for everything either.
You both grow, individually and together. To get there, you have to stop living like your worth is negotiable. You can't keep chasing people who treat you as a backup. You can't keep giving boyfriend energy to someone who barely knows what she wants. You can't keep saying yes when you want to say no just to avoid conflict. You can't keep being scared to lose people who don't treat you well. You have to decide that your time, your energy, your peace, and your self-respect are not cheap. From there, everything changes. You stop overcommitting. You stop chasing. You start watching effort. You start building your life. You start letting go of what doesn't fit. And when you do that, you don't just get better relationships. You become a better man. So if anything here hits you, don't just agree in your head and go back to the same habits. Change one thing today. Set one boundary. Say no once where you'd usually say yes. Go to the gym instead of sending another long message. Put your phone down and work on something that builds your future. You've been acting like you're invisible. You're not. You've just been living as if your value depends on who stays. It doesn't. From now on, you set the standard.